Here we are. This is a Kenworth T800 2010. Just wanted to show it off a little bit. Show everyone what the inside of a T800 Kenworth looks like. How I've got mine set up. It's pretty standard as far as gauges go, and it's a 10-speed. It's got 608,772 miles on it. I've gone 326 miles on this tank of fuel. It's got a clock there. It's actually more than a clock. It's got lots of... This one's supposed to be blank. Shows your average fuel economy, RPMs. This timer, you can set a timer for how long you want the engine to idle. I think that's pretty cool. Trip info, different things about average speed and how long I idled the engine on this trip and all that kind of stuff. I don't have a PTO, so I don't know why that's even showing hours, because this truck does not have a PTO. Truck info, engine info. Cummins ISM 3, apparently 2007. The truck is a 2010 though. Yeah, there you go. There's that. Down here we've got voltmeter, oil pressure, water temperature, tachometer, and temperature gauge down there, and how many hours the engine has on it. Speedometer. Over here we've got this is the lights on the back of my headache rack, so I can turn on lights and see to back up, or see my load and stuff. This is just a placeholder. There's no switch here. It's just a placeholder. There's supposed to be one here as well, but it's missing, so there's just a hole there. And the key, and this dims the headlight, or the dashboard lights. And this switch turns on the dome lights in the cab, and this switch turns on the sleeper dome lights. And this is a manual engine fan switch, and turn my engine fan on and off. When it's down like this, it's on auto, or if I flip it up, it's on. This is the blinker, left and right turn signal, and the windshield wiper controls. If you push in on it, it's the sprayers, and there's a button here on the end of it that I can click, and it turns my marker lights on and off, so I can flash my marker lights on and off to signal other drivers and things like that. Mirror bracket, CB antenna. Has manual window on this side. And this switch here is the window for that side. Up and down. And this is the controls for the moto mirrors. You move the mirrors around with these controls. And this is the mirror heater, to turn on the mirror heater. Speaker there. Dome light, seat belt. This speaker here is for the CB. Another speaker. My CB up there. Cobra 29 LTD. Just it. Cobra 29 LTD. Yep. And a static microphone hanging off a bungee cord, so I can bring it up to my mouth and then let go of it. Don't have to worry about trying to stick it in that hanger there. This is the air horn. Headlights. This switch turns on that little light on my fender. Can't see it because it's, it doesn't turn on the The big one. The big one's just a blinker. But there's one on the side that points that way. This light right here. This switch turns that on. You could also wire up like other LED lights and stuff to that switch. This switch turns on all the marker lights and stuff, like the orange ones that are up on the roof and all the trailer lights. And this is the fog lights. Stereo, pretty basic stereo. It turns on and has an auxiliary plug on it, and it picks up stations. That's all it does. It's got a CD player. It works. It's basic, but it works. That's my primary air and my secondary air. I've been moving around in the truck a lot, making the airbags go up and down. That's why the air pressure's low. Fuel gauge. This truck has a single 175 gallon fuel tank. I can go about 800, 900 miles on that, which is plenty. All we do is go up and down I-5. I don't need, 300 gallons of fuel. I'm not driving from LA to New York, That's the applied brake pressure gauge. So when I step on the brake pedal, that gauge goes up. That's how much brake pressure I'm using. Usually it's right around there, right around 25 psi to get this thing to slow down at a reasonable pace, like not slamming on the brakes. That is the suspension load gauge. That tells me how heavy my drive axle is. So far, every load I've hauled has been about 30,000 pounds on the drives, and that's 50 pounds. Other trucks I've driven, 60, 63 psi is about max. That's about 34,000 pounds. That's a cell phone holder. It's a magnet. There's a little metal plate on the back of my phone, and I just stick it on there, and it works really great. It makes the autofocus on my camera freak out, apparently. It's just two holes where gauges could go. There's another one over here. Just holes where gauges could go. This used to have a little orange light in there that would tell me when I have a message on the Qualcomm, for the older style Qualcomm, but they took that out when we got the new Qualcomms. That's your DPF regen. It's in the middle. The switch is in the middle position right now. That means the DPF is on automatic. You can turn it off so it won't do regens if you're in a place that like a chemical plant or something where you don't want to light the ground on fire. And if you push it up on it, it starts to do a regen. That's another placeholder switch. There's two spare switches. Traction control, it's in the down position. It's on. If you push it up, it turns traction control off, but you have to hold it. As soon as you let go, traction control comes back on. It's the four-way flashers. This is the engine brake, on and off, and it has 3 levels, low, medium, and high. This cruise control on, set, resume, just like in a car. Another spare switch. This dumps my airbags on the truck so I can hook up to trailers and things like that. This is another placeholder switch. This switch doesn't do anything. If I had a sliding fifth wheel, this would release the air for the sliding fifth wheel, but I have a stationary fifth wheel. And this is the inner axle lock, 4-wheel drive basically. This switch controls the little computer screen up there. Apparently the traction control stays off when you push that button. In a Freightliner you have to hold the button. I just turn the traction control back on. AC controls, just like a car. Turn the fan on and off, and AC, recirculate. This turns on the AC in the rear of the sleeper. Defrost, all the different positions, just like a car. This is the trailer brake, and this is the truck brake. Push them in to release the brakes. There's 2 12-volt plugs down here. Got my GPS and a phone charger plugged in. 2 cup holders. And there's a cubby down here. You can store all kinds of whatever you want down in there. I don't have anything in there right now. It's a kind of a redneck homemade deal for holding my Bluetooth and Bluetooth charger. And all my cords are wrapped up around it to try and keep everything tidy. GPS. It's just a basic Garmin New V40 car GPS. It works fine for what I do. I don't need truck routing. I pretty much know where I'm going and what I'm doing, and the GPS is just a neat tool to save locations in, tell me how far away I am from certain places. I got my favorites in here so I can get to different places, different truck stops I like, and the yard and things like that. I don't really rely on it for turn-by-turn directions. Glove box. It's a pretty big glove box. We have the Qualcomm MCP 110 e-logs and communication device, so I can talk to dispatch. That just about does it for the cab. Blanket on the seat for the dog so he doesn't get the seat all tore up and dog hairy and stuff, and the seat does have a seat cover on it. These are little storage shelves up here. They're not very deep. It's a bag of sunflower seeds and my safety glasses in there, and the other one's empty. Can't think of anything to put in there. The sleeper. Lots of shelves. My trash can in there, dog food dish and water. All the dog stuff is in there, and that little shelf there is water. And me and the dog share the water, but there's a couple jugs of water, dog toys, dog treats, things like that. That's where the TV is supposed to go. Kind of just pile whatever I want in there because I don't have a TV. Right, well, I have a TV. I don't have it hooked up yet, but it's going to go right there on a swivel mount anyway. This is all my paperwork, important things that I need for doing my job. All my clipboard and stuff for filling out paperwork. It's just another shelf up here. Don't, just kind of throw knickknacks and things up here that aren't really important. Glass cleaner, tie down manuals. There's an American flag that I need to go mount on the outside of the truck. These big windows up here, I love these big windows. They let in a lot of light. They're really neat to be able to look out of, see the top of the cab and the air horns, and just see what's going on out there. This side, top shelf, sandals and boots. Just, I need a convenient place to store them. This is all my safety gear and a bag of chips. Hard hat, safety vest. This is a big raincoat that's in safety colors, and paper towels. Got a seat back organizer with a bunch of stuff in it. Armor All wipes, notepad, trip packs, my employee badge, napkins. Just stuff that I want to be able to reach while I'm driving. Pens. This side is the closet. Only got one shirt hung up right now. Got some tap lights in there so I can see better if it's dark. Another tap light here so I can see up there and down here also. Got this drawer system for all my laundry. Socks, and this drawer's underwear and stuff, and the bottom drawer will be pants once my laundry is done. These curtains close up and close off so I can have some privacy. This shelf here is just a bunch of personal things. The shampoo is going to be in my shower bag once I get it out of the house. There's a change jar. These change jars fill up. You get about $50 or $60 worth of change in here. Go buy some Chrome or something. This is just a bunch of random chargers and toothbrushes and things like that in there. Personal things, medicine, Advil, Dayquil, NyQuil, things like that. Got the dog's food and stuff in a Tupperware container underneath here. Don't know if you can see, it's like a big cubby underneath the bed. The dog likes to lay in there, and a little bit of storage. There's a control panel over here. with a little light on it. This is just AC controls for the bunk. Heat or AC, warm or cold, and then the fan controls. This cool little logo for the Aerodyne. That's the model of sleeper that this is, the Aerodyne sleeper. And this switch controls the big light up there. Got the vent right here. You can push that open and let air in. Air and light in either direction. This light here needs a new light bulb. There's no 12 volt plug over here, so I got a really long 12 volt extender. There's only two 12 volt plugs in this sleeper. They're both right there. So I plugged this in. Now I've got a spare plug and an empty plug here. And then this runs up here back, and it's attached to the wall behind the top bunk. Goes all the way around, across the top bunk, through there, and then comes out right here so I can plug my phone in or whatever I need to plug in on this side of the sleeper. And that's it. I think that's about it. The 2010 Kenworth T800. Use it for pulling flatbeds, step decks, curtain sides. That's about it. It's working out good so far. I love this Kenworth. I've always liked Kenworth. Maybe I'll do a video of the outside of the truck soon. I got the sleeper all, I got the trailer hooked up, and I got the outside of the truck all done up and organized.